Welcome to the Couples Academy Show.
That sounds good, right?
Yeah, the Couples Academy Show. Welcome. We're so excited to have you. Today is Q&A. Join us.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. My name is Hassani.
I'm Danielle.
And if you're joining us for the first time, we are the Couples Academy Show, and every single day, Monday through Friday, we believe in giving you content that will take your relationship to the next level. Now, it's Friday, and thank God it's Friday because it's Q&A day. Now, what happens is typically what you will do, you'll wait 10, 15 minutes in, and we got 10 minutes left, and then all the questions start coming.
And then we got to answer them next week.
And then we got to answer them next week.
Yeah.
So we want you to dive right in. And while you're thinking of a question, we have started, as you know, a couple of days ago, a 100-date challenge.
Oh,
remember that?
Yes, I do.
And so we
the scratch off. Do you remember the scratch off?
Remember the scratch off?
Yes.
And we encourage you to go and get it. Well, we went on our first date yesterday, and so we want to share with you what our experience was like. Well, we have officially kicked off the 100 Dates Bucket List Challenge. And our first scratch off was to go for afternoon tea. So we found this incredible Ethiopian-owned cafe called the World of Coffee and Tea. Now, let me tell you, I'm not really a tea drinker, but this tea was amazing. Danielle had like an orange spice tea. I had an apple spice tea, and it was really, really good, but we couldn't stop there. We had to really indulge in some authentic Ethiopian food. If you've never eaten Ethiopian food, I'm telling you, you're missing something. But just the idea of being able to break away in the middle of the day, to go for some high tea, to connect as a couple, to play hooky from work, and then to get back to work is something that you should do every chance you get.
That was good. You know what was crazy is that, the 100 date challenge, you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, actually, you can actually see the name at the top, but we weren't doing that. We were scratching it off just to see, and it gives you a little picture of what to do. So it showed high tea. Well, it's COVID, so there's not a lot of tea places open. You got a lot of coffee places open, but not a lot of tea places, and definitely not places that actually do traditional English high tea. So we had to improvise, and so I was so excited to find this place because it was an authentic coffee shop slash tea shop, but it's also an Ethiopian restaurant. And we love Ethiopian food, and we always travel miles all the way down to Decatur, Georgia, just to eat Ethiopian when we do it, which is rare. So I'm super excited that I discovered something new in my town. It was like 15 minutes away, not even?
Not even.
It was so close. In my own community, they've been there for 20 years. So see how much you can discover when you just decide to start breaking out of your box and doing something different?
And I can't wait till the next date. The next date.
And you're on the next date. It's all on you.
So guys, get it, because it can really just add creativity. Most of us, when we do dates, we typically do the movie and we go out to eat. Well, that was prior to COVID, right? I don't know what your dates are like now. It's probably even more predictable and more boring than ever before.
It gets boring.
So you need something different to break up the monotony, to experience something new. So if you haven't gotten it yet, get it. But good morning to everybody. Steven and Angel, JD, Lakeisha, Emily, all of you are here. So it's Q&A day. If you have questions, you want to dump those into the chat right now so we can address them. What else do we have to talk about other than answering these folks' questions who really, I guess they got it all together.
They got to get their nerves together. They got to dredge up some strength to ask a good question.
Here we go.
We got one? Okay.
How can I get my wife to forgive me for things I do not know I was doing wrong and she never told me till 7 years of buildup? That's a very good question.
Forgiveness is a tricky and slippery slope because it's a process. I think we have very unreal expectations for our spouses as it relates to forgiveness. We have always been taught you should forgive, right? We've learned it since we were kids. Somebody gives you an apology, now make up and hug, right? We would force our kids to hug and make up, shake hands, all of that. but the offense was still there. And so we don't want to teach people to give cheap forgiveness. Your forgiveness should be authentic and genuine, and that's a process that takes time. So especially when you're dealing with something historical, something that's been buried for so long, the process to unearth it, to examine the hurt, to figure out what it is, the acknowledgement of the hurt, there needs to be an apology that comes. It's a full-on process.
It is.
Yeah.
And what you said was, how do I get her to forgive after holding or building up all of these feelings for 7 years?
Yeah.
So a part of her process is to stop bottling things up and learning how to filter that stuff out. And I don't know if there hasn't been a safe place to communicate in your relationship, or if she's just wired to shut down and to suppress those feelings. But just as you have a role to play in restoring trust and in beginning to do the right thing, there's some work that she needs to do as well.
The key here is the key question was, how do I get her? There is no getting her to forgive, right? That's her work to do. That's her choice to make. But there is a process that creates an environment to make it easier.
And I think most of us are just comfortable operating the way we always have, even though it doesn't serve us. And that's why at times you have to give yourself permission to divorce yourself from behaviors and habits that don't serve you or your marriage. And so when she can begin to open up more, maybe that's one of the things you tell her. Listen, babe, 7 years went by, I was oblivious. I had no idea. Why don't we regularly create an environment where we can have these conversations and explore some things to take our relationship to the next level, so I don't constantly continue to offend you. Those are the things I think are helpful for you to do. All right, we have another question. How do you push through the desire to give up on working towards repairing your relationship? I know where I'm supposed to be, but fighting through the disgust sometimes seems impossible. Yeah. Well, you have to have daily motivation. At the end of the day, marriage is a mindset. And I think many of us like to give up, cave in, quit, throw in the towel when it gets too hard. It seems like it's too long, and you use the word impossible. Impossible is perception of reality, not reality itself. We watched a movie along with hundreds of other couples who engaged in our 3-day Audacity of Marriage conference called The Dawn Wall. And in that particular movie, it was about somebody who accomplished the impossible.
Perseverance.
And it was perseverance, it was stick-to-itivism, but more importantly, it was his mindset. And I think so many people have such a weak mindset as it relates to their marriage and what's possible. So if you have a daily motivation feeding you and encouraging you, I think that's a key in the process.
I agree.
All right. Let's see. What else did we have?
Bottom.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses. How do you express to your spouse that you're unsatisfied sexually without offending them? Is there a way of doing this without them feeling offended?
That's a good question. It depends on your spouse. Hassan and I have created a very open, honest policy in our marriage as it relates to our sex. Whenever we go to conferences, this is a big, hot button topic with women that feel like they can't express themselves, that they feel like they can't tell the truth. Somewhere along the way, we got this message that it's our job to protect the egos of our husband, even to the detriment of ourselves. And so we end up having women who have spent their entire lives either unsatisfied, faking orgasms, feeling the dread of having to lay down and sleep with their spouse. So you're asking, how do I tell this person without offending them? You could do everything that you can, set the environment, say, listen, I really want to talk about something with you that is very, very sensitive, but it's for the purpose of us getting better, for us to enjoy it. I don't know what the dynamics of your relationship are. I don't know if you're moving in avoidance right now, avoiding having sex with your partner because you're not pleased. All these things play a role in how this might turn out. Because if you're avoiding your husband and you say, you know what, I don't want to avoid you anymore. I want to actually want to have sex with you. You want me, I want to want you. Let's talk about this. That might open him up. He might be like, yes, let's talk about this, right?
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think absolutely creating a safe environment in order to do that. Now, when you get the book, The Audacity of Marriage, we have a chapter in there entitled How to Have a Successful Marriage. And we state a successful marriage. And we state in the book that if you purchase the book, we will email you our pillow talk, which is 50 questions of extraordinary sex. And so sometimes you can help create the right environment if you are both, you just happen to stumble across a chapter that deals with the topic. So it's not like you brought it up. It's like you're creating that atmosphere to make it more conducive for that conversation. And then, we have this questionnaire. How about we do this? And so in the midst of doing that, it will help to really, I guess, make him as well as you, or I'm assuming this is him, more open to the conversation. And I think, husbands and wives oftentimes feel like things are boring. It's duty sex. We need more creativity. Yeah. There's all types of fears and phobias and restrictions we put on ourselves because of culture, because of religion, all types of things that get in the way that keep us from being more free in our sexuality. Mm-hmm. So I think the more you get it in the water, meaning the more you communicate about it in general, it's just like if you have to prepare for the big talk, it's uncomfortable. But the more you engage in that conversation, I think the easier it will get, and then you can start talking about those type of concerns. All right, we have another question here. I think my husband had an affair due to smells, sexual behavior and performance, emission changes, love loss, etc. He says that this is not evidence. If he never comes clean, is there hope for us? Okay,
you actually are suspecting that he's having an affair because you've smelled things.
Oh, right. Okay.
So now my lens just shifted on that.
Yeah, I was like, he cheated because of a smell?
Yeah, so smells, sexual behavior, performance, emission changes, love loss, etc. He says this is not evidence. If he never comes clean, is there hope for us? There's not hope that you're going to have transparency. There's not hope that you're going to have peace and sleep well at night. There's not hope that you're going to want to draw closer to him. There has to be a transparency, but suspecting something and what are the smells? There's just so much in that, right? I mean, is there a history of him having infidelity? See, these are things that we don't know. We have to fill in the blanks on a question like that. So reach out to us.
Yeah, reach out to us. Go to our website and we'll figure out how we can begin to help you in that area. Mm-hmm. And listen, we have a lot more questions for you, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. Be right back. Is communication a struggle in your relationship? Do you feel misunderstood or taken for granted? Do you ever wonder why connection with your partner has to be so hard? If you've asked yourself these questions and many more, then you need to register for the More Than Words, The Secret to Breakthrough Communication for Couples Masterclass. The date is Saturday, September 26, 2020, from 12 p.m. noon to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The cost is only $197. So whether you're single, dating, in a committed courtship, engaged, or married, the More Than Words Communication Masterclass is for you. Simply click the registration link below, secure your virtual seat, and get ready to experience breakthrough in your relationship.
My name is Tyrone. This is my wife, Kathy. We're from Norfolk, Virginia. And we started out Couples Academy for, mainly started out with being an infidelity issue on my side, which impacted our marriage greatly. As we dug deeper, it was other issues that I had going deeper back in my childhood, from my early 20s and all to my 40s, that I compartmentalized things and just kept it aside and pushed things down, which led me to seek other means of help. Try to find the answer in the bottom of the bottle for years. And then I started counseling. And then we had infidelity issues, in which we started off Couples Academy, which really helped us work through our differences and difficulties. Yeah.
This has been a truly amazing experience that has taught us to forgive, to work through and communicate all of our issues. I would definitely recommend this to other couples and to not wait.
Definitely.
We waited 2 years to do this, and we should have never waited this long. Asani has really been a godsend to us, and we plan on using all the information to help better, to improve our marriage and improve our lives so that we can be one with each other, so we can be united, so we can put God first and put our marriage second, so that both of us can have our best life, live the greatest life that's possible for us.
And just to backtrack just a bit, we've been married for 15 years, and we should have did this 12, 13 years ago, if not before we were married. So I highly recommend Couples Academy to anyone who has issues prior to getting married, or after, early in their marriage, or even late in their marriage. It's never too late.
It's never too late. I feel so relieved. I feel like 100-pound weight has been lifted off my chest now. We would definitely recommend it.
Yes. Thank you, Asante and Danielle.
It's just an honor for us to be able to work with so many couples. It's interesting how our own hurt was translated into a passion and then a purpose. And who would have known that we'd be able to be here today and support so many couples and see marriages actually turn around? Because when we got started, we were looking around, we were like, we are doomed, right? Didn't we think we were doomed?
Yeah, it was hard believing that it was possible that we could get through it, because it was just bad. Yeah. It was just bad.
And it's all levels of drama. I mean, you would be surprised the things that people get divorced over, because they just have different habits, or falling out of love,
right,
as if you fell into love, right? So there is hope. So thank you for those testimony. I want to talk about this next question.
Which
here.
One are we going to?
It says, I have a dear friend whose husband, you just moved it.
This one?
I have a dear friend whose husband. There we go. I have a dear friend whose husband has been inconsistent in his mood towards her. Sometimes he's in the marriage, then without notice. Other times he's completely shut down, not speaking. I mean, that could be a million things, right? That could be personality styles taking part in that, that he just isn't very much of a verbal person. There could be past hurts and resentment that's accumulating. It could be interactions between him and his wife where, it's just better for me to just not say nothing, because if I say something, it's going to be a problem and it's going to be exploding. So, stonewalling plays a part. And there's a million reasons why that could be happening.
And so I would just have a serious conversation. We're going to keep saying the same things again and again and again. Sometimes there's this need to want to talk about what has occurred every single day, 10 times a day. It doesn't matter where we are, what time it is. I don't care if you're at work. I'm texting you, really terror texting, really interrupting their flow. Then it's late at night. I need to go to bed and get up in the morning. So I think it's about setting proper expectations so that you can have something that works. That way, the success of the relationship is trackable and accomplishable, because you've established clear goals of what will make that thing happen.
Absolutely. We got another comment here. It says, how do I continue to try and save my marriage and be respectful of my wife's emotions due to her being pregnant and not knowing if it's her hormones or her truth?
Well, I know that Danielle's been pregnant 4 times.
You better count it.
Now, typically, pregnancies last between 9 and 10 months. And so you figure 4 kids, and then once the kid comes out, that's a duration of time. Probably for 6 years of our marriage, I was Satan incarnate and
I don't remember any of that.
Anything right.
I don't remember
it was
that.
Hell up in the household. And so everything was wrong. My tone, my everything was wrong. And so I would imagine that if she's pregnant, you do have to take that into consideration, because hormones are all over the place.
Give her some grace. She's carrying your baby.
Yeah.
It is hard. Let me just say something. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and we were just keeping it real with each other, because that's what we women do. And we were just like, you know what? The one difference between men and women, like, we could do everything that a man can do. We can even go to the army and fight for our country. But you know what a man can't do? Have a baby. That's the one thing you can't do that we can do. We possess a womb. You don't have a womb. We are in the direct image created like the Creator, because our Creator created the universe, right? So we create mankind. We procreate with God and His awesomeness. And so give us some slack, Like, a lot of times I think our husbands start out on the right foot when we get pregnant. I understand, babe, you want me to rub your feet? And you get tired early when we start getting frustrated, when we have an attitude, y'all check out. We can't check out. We got to go the whole 9 months. So give her some grace, okay? She's going to be feeling a certain kind of way. And this is just me talking without knowing all the nuances of your relationship. But that's how you do it. Pray to God, ask him for the grace to get you through the 9 months, just like every day she's praying and asking God to give her the grace to get her body through the 9 months.
So give each other grace because it is
you
a
need
period.
to amen what I said.
I said amen.
Thank you.
But listen, we both need to be held to a higher standard, and there needs to be accountability for both partners involved. There can't be double standards. So after that phase of pregnancy and her emotions have subsided.
He's taking away from what I said.
Because real talk,
he's taking away from what I said.
A lot of women go ballistic and they turn into Tyrannosaurus. They just go crazy.
But you know what? And that's true. So there does need to be balance. So you're not gonna give a person a license to be crazy
at all.
But I mean, you got to think about it like this. And come on, women, like come on, wives. Sometimes you're going through, and when a woman is pregnant, it's not like she really gets to take off. I know our husbands like to fantasize about the fact, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The truth is, we're still doing everything. If there's children already, we're still taking care of the kids. The house, we're still taking care of the house. We're still doing all these things. So a lot of times she's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, give your wife some grace. You'll get through it.
And real
unless
talk,
it's a real issue and y'all really need some counseling, because communication issues is an over-encompassing issue.
I will say it is true that a lot of times women are overwhelmed.
I had to fight for the women.
And have just an incalculable number of duties and responsibilities and tasks that they're dealing with. And a lot of us are one-hit wonders. Like, we're good at a couple things, but they're forced to multitask a multitude of things.
Thank you.
And it gets to the point where they're stressed, they're depressed, they're struggling, they want to escape, they just want to get away. And all they're really looking for is help.
Okay,
and
now that's the husband. That's my husband right there.
Oh, my husband.
Because he knows
your husband was speaking a couple minutes ago, too.
That's my husband right there. He knows.
Yeah.
And he's very accommodating and understanding about that. And so sometimes we just lack understanding. As I think husbands, we just lack understanding. Maybe we haven't seen it. He's been through it four times.
It takes time to get there. Like, I didn't know it at first. That's why we had so many challenges. And then eventually things set in. I began to realize, wow, okay, I need to see. That's why we talk about the difference between companionship and partnership. So you may be showing up as a companion, but when it comes to partnership and delegating responsibilities in the household and who's managing what, like all of that is a major part of what makes a relationship work. And if there's an imbalance there, it's going to create frustrations, and it will spill and bleed into your relationship. Yeah. So if the marriage isn't going well, the relationship may start to break down as well.
Right. And you know, look into postpartum depression too, because that's something to get ahead of. If she's going through right now, you know, after the baby, that's a whole nother thing. And that's a real thing. Women have actually wanted to commit suicide or harm their baby. Depression is real, y'all. It's real pain. So we can't neglect to think about these things and understand. If your wife needs help and some support, get her some help. But don't be angry with her because she's going through something.
Agreed. Another question. Men are unable to speak to or understand how we feel when pregnant. Men don't have a clue because there's nothing you've experienced that compares to being pregnant. That's true. And that's why communication is even more important.
Yeah.
Like, even if you articulate and you explain and you kind of unpack the whole process you're going through, yes, we will never be able to truly understand it on your level because we won't ever be able to experience it. But that doesn't mean that they can't show empathy and compassion for what it is you're going through.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Another comment. You can have a marriage but not have a relationship. That's true.
That's true.
Can have a marriage and not a relationship. You can have a relationship and not a good marriage. But the key is to have both.
Right.
Don't settle for one over the other. You want to have both. So wherever you're strong, focus on the other area to get that other area just as strong as the one you're strong in. And just for clarity, if you're hearing this for the first time, your relationship speaks to companionship. That's the heartfelt connection, the blending of personalities, effective communication, sexual fulfillment. The marriage speaks to partnership. That's delegation of responsibilities in the home. That's how you parent your children, money management. They're two different things. So don't settle for we're just legally bound and tied by law, but we don't have a relationship. Right. You want the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. Come on, y'all. We need some questions. Keep them coming. There's a lot of live listeners on here. We want to hear, what is it that you're really going through in your marriage? What can we help you with?
Yeah. Well, I think they're coming in. I just need my glasses. But these are the challenges that people are dealing with daily. And what we hope is that when you're hearing this, it's not, in one ear and out the other. Easy in and easy out. You want to be able to take the principles in the tips and the techniques that we're suggesting with you and unpack them in an important way and incorporate it into your everyday. Because when it becomes a part of your normal habit and routine, things begin to shift and change. Don't treat this like just another episode. Like, you know how you watch one of your favorite shows and, oh, just another episode till the next one, and you don't do anything with it. Even the Bible says don't be a hearer of the word, but a doer as well. And the people who are successful are the ones who do. I would rather you listen to a video 10 times because you're stripping it down to its core than to watch 10 different videos and get nothing out of it.
Good point. We missed this one. Here's one. When the betrayed partner isn't consistent at showing up the right way or dismissive of feelings, how does the hurt partner deal, especially if the affair was discovered months ago? Doesn't action speak louder than words?
Jump on that.
I mean, of course, actions speak louder than words, but I think the recovery, I know that the recovery process is just that, a process. There isn't going to be a time when you're getting it 100% right. And I think that's what happens when we meet with couples every week. Sometimes one little thing seems to unravel everything else that was done right. Like with my one-on-one clients, I give the females or the wives a sheet. It helps them to deal with what's going on throughout the week. So I can literally look Monday through Friday or whatever the date is that I'm meeting with you, that everything was spot on all week. He did everything here. He did everything here. He did everything here. Right here, one problem blows it all up. So now you don't even acknowledge everything else that was going right. We've got to operate with grace on both ends, because before there was an affair, there was still a flawed human that you were married to, right? And you had this flowing love that covered a multitude of sins, right? You overlooked a lot of things. Matter of fact, the day you got married, you knew about a handful of things that you were overlooking. And now, after an affair, you expect that person to miraculously be what they've never been.
That's
right?
True. That's
so
true.
I think that we have to balance our expectations and look at the big picture, right? Is this person overall trying to do something different? Has this person been consistent at all? And did they just drop the ball at that moment?
And then the other thing is, like, maybe we're assuming that you're going through some type of counseling or restoration process with a third party, with the program, with the group, someone who's guiding the both of you. A lot of times in the recovery process, we don't know what to do. We're trying to figure it out, and we're learning through trial and error. And so if you're steering the ship, or if he's steering the ship, then that's what can be getting you two in trouble. You need somebody who has been there before.
Good point.
Or help other couples get through, to guide you through a process to get you to your final destination.
Stop doing it yourself. Stop doing it yourself. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about how she was talking about how she moved out. She split from her partner, and everything went wrong after that. Like, there was a lot of blame, there was a lot of devastation that took place after that. And that's the thing, like, there is such a thing as a controlled separation, that an evaluation of your situation may bring us to suggest that and help manage that. But to separate on your own with no rules, no guidelines, you just doing something, you inviting trouble into your relationship. So you want to get in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing, that has done this 1,001 times to support your marriage and help you get to the place where you want to be.
And the way that you really overcome these challenges, the one principle that you truly need to embrace is communication. When you have gone through betrayal, or you have trust issues, or you have setbacks, if you don't know how to effectively communicate, then you will begin to build up unresolved issues that mount, and it becomes almost like that impossible dawn wall to accomplish. And that's why we're encouraging you to participate next Saturday in our More Than Words Masterclass. Is going to be an incredible experience. We hope that you register. The link is at the bottom of the video. You'll see it in the description. We want you to be there because we want you to have the best for your relationship. So guys, it's been another great session. Hope that you got something out of it. And we hope that you have an amazing weekend. Take some time to date, take some time to love on each other, and we'll see you at the top of the week on Monday morning. Take care.
Can't bring us down, can't nothing bring us down. Our love is